Okay, we're going to take you around the exterior of the Roller Team 685 Cygnus model. First of all, the key for the vehicle is here. There's two keys on the fob. This is the cab key, and it's just like your car, open and lock. The bottom button doesn't actually do anything. And this is the key for the rear of the vehicle and the various panels around the outside. So once the vehicle's open, the door just opens as normal. First thing we see on the passenger side is the fueling position. It's diesel fuel, goes into the top there, and underneath is where the AdBlue goes. We'll top the AdBlue off before you go. You shouldn't have to touch that. Remember to put diesel in the vehicle. The wing mirrors are electrically operated. You set them up before you drive using the switches on the side there. When you park up, or if you're in anywhere particularly tight, it can just fold in and give you a little bit narrower profile, stops people bumping into them. Make sure you reset them before you drive. The bonnet is opened using the ignition key. This goes into the little slot there at the front. Turn it to the left to unclip the bonnet, and then to the right to release the little catch. And once you get underneath, you can top off water if you've used water. You've got your brake fluid, oil goes in here, there's a dipstick down there to check oil level and coolant. All the levels will be checked before you go, and you shouldn't really have to replenish anything, save maybe the water if it's a particularly dirty day. And to close the bonnet, just put the catch down and a wee pump. Same on this side with the wing mirror, it can be adjusted in just to stop people bumping into it on a campsite, wherever you are. This is where the fresh water goes for the shower and the toilet. It's opened with the little leisure key, just goes in there, unlocks, and that's how it unlocks. And then you can top off the water there. We've supplied a hose and a jerry can for fresh water if you're off a campsite, and you can top that up with fresh water. They recommend that you don't drive it with more than about 20 litres of fresh water in, so just top it off at the campsite when you get there. This is where the gas goes. Again, it's just a little leisure key that opens that panel, and inside you'll find two bottles. We'll give you what's left from the previous rental and a full bottle. If you've ordered two full bottles, then you'll get two full bottles with one connected. You don't need to do anything with the pipes and everything inside the vehicle. All you need to do is to make sure that the gas is switched on. So you just turn it to the left to switch it on, and then before you drive, switch it off so it's turned to the right to switch off. If you need to change the bottle, we'll provide a wrench, and you unscrew make sure the gas is off and unscrew the connector there. It's opposite to a normal one, so right is loose and left is tight, which is standard for all gas bottles. So once it's finished, you can switch it off, unhook the connector, and then pop it onto the new bottle. It's very straightforward. Again, just remember to switch it off before you drive. This is the electrical hookup. It's very self-explanatory. It just clicks into there, and once it's in place, it should be secure. Plug it into the campsite outlet, and you will be connected to the 230 volt supply. Before you go, obviously, to disconnect it, just press the lever down. The connector will slide out and shut the panel. This is the exhaust for the Truma boiler, so you will get warm air coming out of there. That's quite normal. It's best to try and leave that area quite clear so that the thing can vent. So this is the bike rack. It's very self-explanatory. It just clips down, and then you can load your bikes up. Put the heaviest ones towards the cab, and then the lighter bikes as you come further out, obviously, just because of the moment. And then these unscrew, and this little bar will flip up and tighten that in place. These are quite simple. You just hook the wheels into the bottom, and then inside the boot there's a little arm that connects onto here, and that'll just lock onto the bike, and there's 4 arms in varying lengths for each bike rack. If you've used bike racks before, it's very straightforward. If you haven't, it's also very intuitive. It's pretty easy to use. If you're not using it, just make sure it's clipped up, and that's fine to drive. Nice big boot on this one. Inside the boot you'll find table and chairs, the jerry can, the jack and everything for the spare should you need it. And then there's a box with levelling blocks, your hookup, triangle, funnels, a few tools, bits and pieces that you might need when you're out and about. Before you move off, make sure that you do lock all your panels on the exterior. There's two ways to do it. You can either push the thing in and lock it like that, it stays in, or if it's in the lock position but still out, it just clicks on and then that's locked, ready to go. When the boot door's open, there's a little catch here to hold the door open so it doesn't fly around in the wing. Be careful with those because they're quite fragile. This is where the toilet cassette is located. Two buttons and you can access the toilet cassette. We'll give you a little bucket here with chemicals in. If you need more, you can pick them up pretty easily round and about. To empty the cassette, you must make sure that the flap inside the cab is closed. If it's not closed, the cassette won't come out. When the flap inside is closed, there's a little lever under here. You just click that up and the cassette comes out. You take it to the facilities on the campsite where you're allowed to empty them, and then you just undo the cap and empty out the contents. Once the contents are emptied, replace the cap. You can then open the cassette, turn that little flap, put some fresh water in there, give it a rinse, empty it out. I'd do that a couple of times, and then when you're ready to put it back in, put about half a litre of fresh water into the cassette and one of the chemical tabs. Close the flapper, and then it's just a case of sliding it back into the vehicle. You'll hear it click in place, and that's good to go. Replace the chemicals, and close the door, and I would lock it as well. And you're good to go.